Hey guys, welcome to the We Need to Calm Down podcast. I'm Devin.
And I'm Joe.
And this is the show where we talk about all things Taylor Swift.
That's right. This is the show where two friends finally get to let their dedication to the first ever 3-time album of the year winner, Taylor Swift, fly. I called it.
You did call it. I was a little nervous. I thought you were being optimistic, but I predicted she would win as well. So we're both right. We'll be discussing everything from song breakdowns, Taylor news, and insane fan theories.
But before we get into that, I do want to address the elephant in the room. We did have our first Vault song release past Friday. You All Over Me was released with 1,000 parentheticals. So it was a great gift for us for our 50th episode, but we're not talking about that this episode. So we decided to do a separate section just to give it its due. So it's different. A full segment is going to be added to the end of this episode where we react to the song "You All Over Me." If you're listening to the podcast, stay tuned to the end of the show where we will show you guys that. And then it'll also be posted in a separate YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube for you to watch there. So be sure to stay tuned or check that video. But this week is something special.
For our 50th episode. 50 episodes. Can you believe it?
Dude, I cannot believe we've done this thing for 50 episodes.
We've almost done this for a year.
That's so much. That is so much content.
Mhm.
Like, I'm really proud that we made it this far. No, we're not done. No,
Well,
I'm really happy with it. And like, we were trying to think of like what we wanted to do for our 50th episode for so long. And we were in the midst of like Folklore Evermore now with like, she just wouldn't stop releasing stuff. So
Mhm.
it just made it hard to come up with something. But I think we kind of nailed it. So if you couldn't tell by the title of this video or episode, we are going to talk about our top 10 Taylor Swift songs of all time. The cream of the crop, our favorite ones. We might get blasted a lot for this.
Yeah. So just a little forewarning. Joe, probably more so than I, but I as well. We are people. We are sensitive. Please don't bully us. These are our opinions, and we are justified to have them. Just keep that in mind.
I will say, I think we got one of them right.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like at least one of them
90% of
is the correct answer.
Swifties will agree with us.
That should be like the clickbait headline of this video. 90% of Swifties agree that. No, so if you follow us on our Instagram, you've noticed that for the last week, we've been counting down our top 50 Taylor Swift songs in preparation for this episode. If you haven't checked that out, go see where all of those ranked. We spent a lot of time, and I want to give a shout out here. There's a Taylor Swift song sorter made by Jesse Pinkman, Jessee Pinkman, on Tumblr that made this possible. And if you have 3 hours to dedicate to your life to go and sort all of your favorite songs of Taylor's, give it a go. It took forever.
It took a couple days for me. It was like I was thinking, okay, I know this is going to be tough. Let me sit down with this. And then I was like, oh no. I think it's 800 questions, just about.
It's about 800 battles between two songs. Mm-hmm. And I love like Devin started I remember you started so confident. You were like, in the beginning, you're like, this is gonna be no problem. And then I would just constantly throughout the week get texts of what? How do I choose between them?
You can't. Some of them are just, you can't, but you don't want to say that you like them both, or you don't have an opinion, because you have to get that ranking.
Because they say in the song sorter, you can say you don't have an opinion or that you like both, but if you do it too much, it ruins the data. I'm like, I don't want to ruin the data. So we did this episode so we could dive deeper into the top 10 Taylor Swift songs of our preference. We spent hours on that song sorter and then subsequent hours debating with those placements, because some of them we had to move around because we were like, there's no way this fell to where it did. So we moved some around, and I'd say we're pretty happy with where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm like, it could be different. But I think
And it
Yeah.
will. I think if we
Yeah.
did that song sorter again, it would be well, not completely different, but I think I will say this. I think our top 10 is solid.
Yeah.
I think for me, I can't really argue top 10. Maybe they could shift around a little bit, and I'm sure they have.
Hmm.
But I think our top 10 Taylor Swift songs, I'm very confident in those.
I also want to preface this by telling our audience keep in mind what albums these are from, too, which is
Yes.
also very interesting data, which will tell you a lot about who the two of us are as Taylor Swift fans and how different that apparently is.
It's wild.
Mhm. So, the way that we're going to do this is we're going to start with our number 10 song. Joe's going to go, I'm going to go, describe what we're feeling, and we're going to work our way up to number one.
hmm So, I mean, I don't think we have any introduction left to do. Do you want to just get
Now,
into it?
Joe, what is your number 10 Taylor Swift song?
Okay, I'm gonna preface it. I'm just gonna preface this with I feel I learned something about myself that I kind of knew but didn't realize until today, and have just started to come to grips with. Uh, Speak Now is probably one of my favorite albums of all time, if not my favorite album of all time, and I didn't realize that until last year. But my number 10 is Sparks Fly from Speak Now, and this spot was really weird because my 11 was Speak Now itself, like the self-titled track, but it's such a toss up between the two. They're like sister songs to me. I think of one, I think of the other. And I love them both almost equally. This was literally like choosing between two children. But I think Sparks Fly gets the edge though because it's just such a smile inducing song.
Hmm.
Like, I dare you to sing Drop Everything Now and not stop and not start smiling. Like, it's just so fun. It gets you so hype, which is also weird because I love depressing music more than anything. So why am I picking in my top 10 one of Taylor's like positive upbeat songs? Like I said, I learned a lot about myself doing this.
Mm.
I think like one of my best memories of this song though, as like I obviously fell in love, like I said, with Taylor Swift because of her depressing sad songs. It's just such a foil to it. Like it's such a positive, upbeat. That guitar riff in the beginning just like
Mm.
really pulls you in, and I get ready for it. The bridge with the bam, 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 like really gets my heart beating. I don't know, like it's just impossible for me not to like. My favorite lyric from this, I will say, it has to be "Drop Everything Now, Meet Me in the Pouring Rain."
Hmm.
Every time I listen to this lyric, I felt like I was living in the Notebook. I don't think there's like a de facto standout line in this song other than that one. I think this is just a cohesive song. So
Yeah.
it's hard to like pull out a couplet or anything like that, like you can in a lot of other Swift songs. The one thing I will say, this is special for this song for me. I don't know if you did any of these, but I wanted to make a note. They're re-recording this. She's re-recording this episode or this album, probably the last one. And the one thing I can't live with her changing, if she changes it, is the way that she says some of the words in this song.
Mm.
She has such ridiculous inflection, and I love it, and I sing it weird every time it comes up. So like, lead me up, like just like the weird up that she gives in the
Mm.
bridge. I can't let that go. If she says that normal, I will lose my mind. Give me something that'll haunt me. Like she just like says like these weird way of delivering
Yeah.
lines. You'll find I'm even better. Like it's like I know I'm butchering it, but like it's that weird, and I love it. That then there's also that little guitar trill in the last chorus where like just meet me in the pouring rain, dude. Like that's how intimately I know this song,
Yeah.
and I'm very nervous about the re-record for it because
Hmm.
there are so many of those little facets of it that I've come to just know second nature, that I will immediately alarms will like
Hmm.
red sirens will fire off if they aren't there. So I'm very nervous about that. But that's my number 9 is Speak Now.
Number 10, you mean?
I'm sorry, number 10 is number 10 is Sparks Fly.
You
I
good?
told you I'm so confused with them. It's Sparks Fly. Number 10 is Sparks Fly.
So my number 10 is Treacherous from Red. So when I first listened to this song, probably I'll just preface this again. We love the word preface right now. I got into Taylor Swift when I was younger. I liked Fearless. I liked Speak Now. I liked the hits off of Red, but I wasn't a huge Red fan until I revisited the album like a couple years later. And that's when I really got into all of the songs and I got into the deep cuts that like you wouldn't normally hear on popular radio as a child. So when I probably listened to this first, I was like, okay, this is good. This is a good song. But for me, it's the Gaylor Swift
Oh
theory
my
that
god.
blew this song up for me because the implications behind the song, and if you think about it through that lens, completely changes the entire song. And it made me just appreciate it so much more. So, just musically, too, the song is amazing. It's soft and it's like delicate. And that's like the verses are just like so. You're tiptoeing around, you don't know, it's treacherous, and then the dramatic nature of the chorus, just how frantic and like just the pounding, the dun 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 dun, like that, just the background is just crazy. And I remember listening to, I believe there's an acoustic version on the deluxe
It's the, I
for,
think it's the demo,
mhm,
original demo recording. Yeah.
and it just doesn't hit the same. The
Mm.
production behind the song makes the song that much better. And in terms of like a favorite lyric, the first line is put your lips close to mine as long as they don't touch. Gay, 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 gay. We've talked about this. Listen to our Gaylor Swift episode. It's just so gay. And I love it. Also, the lyric I do appreciate is that nothing safe is worth the
Mm.
drive and I will follow you home. Like
I
just
love that line.
it's just like just so romantic. It's like about this forbidden love. You know, Taylor loves that. Um, and it's just such a romantic song about Diana Agron.
I'm really happy you put this one on there because I do think I snubbed this one and it's not on my top 10, and I'm very upset about it.
Mhm.
It is a phenomenal song.
It really is. It's such an underrated song.
It's, I will give it, it is the most underrated Taylor Swift song, hands down. I
Mm.
think I do not see it on enough top 10s. Unfortunately, not even on my own, which makes me sad.
So let's go into your number 9. What are you thinking?
What album do you think my number 9 could be? You're going to sense a really big trend and realize why I learned a lot of the things about myself that I did. My number 9 actually did surprise me a lot, but like I just find that it is one of the songs that I sing the most, like emphatically too, is
Mhm.
actually Mine. It rhymes with nine. Mine off of Speak Now. The, I think it's the number 1 track too. It's the first track on Speak Now. Like Sparks Fly, I loved the song instantly. But the thing that I think is really awesome, and I realized this a lot later, it reminds me of Love Story. This song is the sequel to Love Story, hands down.
Okay.
Because, and I didn't realize it on the first listen, and I'll tell you why, but I think the reason this song, it speaks Sparks, I cannot say that title. Oh my gosh. This song and Sparks Fly really hit me and made me confused as a little Swifty in high school. Was these are not breakup songs. These are like blissful, hopeful depictions of romanticism, and I wasn't expecting it, like based on what the media was portraying Swift as. So like I always when I first started like listening to Swift, I thought she was just like some ridiculous, like hopeless romantic girl who like always got broken up with, and like obviously like the media said would just write about any ex,
Mhm.
or be careful, don't date Taylor Swift, she'll write a song about you. And like then I started listening to her, I'm like, these aren't sad breakup songs at all. These are like really happy, really positive like views on relationships. They're a bit romanticized and
Mhm.
like a little bit fake, but that's the other thing that I like about Mine is this song is a grown-up love story. Like maybe young adult love story, maybe not like really grown up, but like I love that it shows that even though your relationship might not be perfect, it has its fights, it has its ups and downs, you still stay and work out with it because that's what love is. Sensational.
Mhm.
My favorite lyric, again, this is another song that's just like it's hard to pinpoint just one lyric. The whole song is just full of them and they really interlock together really well. But if I had to pick one, it would be the whole bridge. Just the whole
Yeah.
bridge.
Mhm.
The bridge is just phenomenal, and it follows, like if you listen to Love Story, it follows the same tone, especially the bridge. But that last chorus hits me like a brick every time. Chills every time I hear, and every time I look at you, it's like the first time when she switches it, because she does the same thing in Love Story. She
Mhm.
switches to Romeo's perspective when she's
Yeah.
Juliet's. She switches to the guy's perspective again
Mhm.
in
I
Mine at
love
the
you, and
end.
that's all I really know.
I love you, and that's all I really. And every time I look at you, it's like the first time. I remember how we felt sitting by the water. Ugh, I'm getting chills now. Like it's just,
Ugh.
it's so good. And like I'll talk about this later when we get deeper into the episode, but like I feel like a loser picking this song because it's a single, it's a popular song, like a lot of people like it, but like the thing is even with Taylor's popular songs, like they're still so good
Mhm.
and like they stand the test of time. To be fair though, I think it's definitely an earlier era thing though, because I don't think Shake It Off,
No.
any of those are the same as the singles that she gave us in the beginning, because I can listen to every single that she put out in the first few albums, and today they still hit. Look
I'd
What You
agree
Made
with
Me
that.
Do doesn't, like Shake It Off doesn't. Me kind of is okay, but it's still weird. Like her singles just don't hit like they used to. Not to say they're bad, they're
Mhm.
phenomenal songs, but it's just like Mine. Oh my god, it just gets your heart pumping, and I love it so much.
A really good thing about we're talking about like old Taylor and like Speak Now era Taylor is that these songs, these happy songs, it's about like a grown love. Like she doesn't know about it yet because she's young. She doesn't know about this grown love, but it's like trying to find the maturity, but it's so romanticized because she is so hopeful. And
Mm-hmm.
like even though she's been crushed in red, which we haven't gotten to yet, but she still has these idealistic, like this is what love will be red, and then
Mm-hmm.
later on it's just so satisfying to see the what it was and what it wasn't.
And even to see where it evolves into
Mhm.
lover folklore and evermore, like her depictions of love are just so different than what they were.
Mhm.
We don't really get a romanticized love like we do with Speak Now or Fearless. Like
Yeah.
there's no equivocations to Romeo and Juliet or The Notebook or like those rom-coms of the early 2000s, which like I think like if you look back at those rom-coms, I've been watching a lot of them lately. There is a difference in the way love is portrayed in the rom-coms of the mid 2000s to the now. Like you don't get Just My Lux or Fever Pitch or like any of those kinds of movies now.
No, because the standards of love are just so different, and it's not this cheesy thing. It's like, okay, well, people are starting to finally realize, like, okay, well, my life isn't like a fairy tale. It's not this some idealistic thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna be realistic about it, but the realistic parts are good. It's like,
But I love the fairy tale stuff. Like that's why I think I'm
yeah.
stuck in the Speak Now era. It's just I love the fairy tale idolations of love. Anyway, Devin, what is your number 9?
Also from Speak Now, we have, I feel like it's pretty diverse, but it's not going to be soon. Is Enchanted.
Ah,
What a song. So this was a knockout from the very first listen. When I was younger, I always tried to apply this to my relationships, but I never had like a meet cute like this.
mhm.
And just a little side note about the song, I loved hearing the background like of this story with Adam Young from Owl City and how he redid the song from his perspective. And he's like, Taylor, I was so in love with you. And then she just did nothing.
Wait, what?
Do you not know the whole story behind Enchanted?
I knew the whole I thought the whole story was it was about Adam Young from Owl City and that's it.
Oh, Joe. We'll have to sidebar about this afterwards, but really quick to sum it up, he did a cover of this song, basically, switched up some of the lyrics, and he goes, I was never in love with someone else. I never had somebody waiting on me because you were all my dreams come true. And I just wish you knew, Taylor, I was so in love with you. And
Oh
she just
my
didn't respond.
gosh.
She just did nothing. She was like, all right.
Oh, okay. I got a lot of work to do after this episode.
So I just love that story and I love that little anecdote. It just makes it so much better. But this was just such a huge song and the impact behind it was just so powerful. Wonderstruck, the perfume line, hearing this on the commercials, like it was just such an ideal as a kid. Again, idealized love.
Was it a single?
I don't think it might have been a single, but it was definitely like the perfume was a big thing. It
Yeah.
might have been on the radio. The bridge of the song is fantastic.
Mm.
All of the lyrics stand out, but really the line, "My thoughts will echo your name until I see you again." Just Enchanted is such a good song. So,
I
so good.
I can't get over Enchanted.
Mhm.
I'm sure we'll hear more about it down the
I'm
line.
sure. All right. Number 8.
Number 8. Okay. My number 8. I'm finally departing from Speak Now.
There we go. Growth.
My number 8 is actually I think it's the most I was gonna say I think it's the most recent song on my top 5 or my top 10. It's not, but it
Mm.
is from Lover and it is Cruel Summer. I remember the first time I heard this song. I was laying in bed at like 7 a.m. on Lover release day, and I asked my Echo to play Lover. I listened through I Forgot You Existed. I'm like, okay, it's pretty good. I like that. I can vibe with that. And then I heard boom, 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 yeah. And I was like, okay, okay. And then this song played through, and I lost my mind.
Mhm.
Like I remember just laying in my bed, literally just like this, going like, oh, play that song again, play that song again. Like, can you put that on repeat, please? I shot out of my bed when I heard he looks up grinning like a devil. I feel like this line is like every Swiftie knows where they were the first time they heard he
Mhm.
looks up grinning like a devil.
Yep.
It it just like transcended for me, and it was one of those things of like I wasn't a big 1989 person. I wasn't a big Reputation person. Don't get me wrong. Again, love them. They're
Mhm.
phenomenal albums. They're pinnacle like music. But as a Swiftie, as someone who falls in the Speak Now Red category, Lover kind of like reinvigorated that for me, which I really liked. And this song just like skyrocketed for me. I immediately put the song on repeat. I don't do drugs, but I imagine if I did, the high would be akin to the first 50 times I heard this song. Because it was a high when I heard He Looks Up Grinning Like a Devil.
100%.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
My favorite lyric, every lyric is gold, but if I have to go with the highest impact, it would probably be I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you. I if I haven't screamed this lyric 1,000 times, by God.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, and it's weird. I wanted to do like He Looks Up Grinning Like a Devil, but they're like it's not the lyric that gets that part of the song for me. It's the everything around it and the build up to it. But the just like the way she screams, I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you, is so heart shattering. And if everyone's felt that at some point. Like,
Mhm.
ugh,
Yeah.
I
Uh,
love this song. It is simultaneously crying material, screaming material, and dance material. How do you hit all of those pillars? You beat Taylor Swift. That's how. It is the beat is a bop, the lyrics insane, memorable production, and great pacing, which is
mhm.
awesome. It should be on every Swifties top 10, I
Yes. I could talk about this song for a while. I'll talk about it later.
think.
Fun little tidbit, a little preview. So, my number 8, in a similar tone to the boppiness of Cruel Summer, we're going to throw it back a little bit to my first of many 1989 songs. We learned this about me is New Romantics. New Romantics is the best bonus track, and I will die on that hill. I will die on that hill. Automatically thought it was a bop. Why was it not on the album? She would have killed America. If it was a single, if it was anything more than what it was, this country would not exist. This world would go into chaos. It just instantly got you hype. New Romantics. So, as will be a common theme, when I saw the 1989 World Tour, just hearing this song live along with other songs, it just got you so hype. It is such a danceable song. You rage into the car. The it's just so good. It's so yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
in it now.
yeah, one of my favorite lyrics is "Heartbreak is the national anthem. We sing it proudly."
Mm,
It's such a millennium song. Such a millennial song. You know, we're not like our parents. This is the singles album. This is you go out. This is on your single and ready to mingle playlist. You're just, come on, come along with me. The best people in life for free.
that's a good
It's
one too.
just so good.
that song is definitely like a very lyric heavy album. Like you can
Hmm.
cherry pick so many great lyrics from that one.
Yeah, and even another thing, because I can go on this, I'll sum it up right
Go.
here. But just the inflections
Mm-hmm.
and how she sings this song to the song makes it so much better. Just we're all bored, just stuff like that. It's all in the timing. Um, I'm about to play my ace.
I hate that lyric. That
It's
is the
so
one
no, it's
that
so
really
good.
bothers me. Like the
The
one lyric that
harmony.
like the I could build a castle from all the bricks they threw at me is phenomenal. And then
Hmm.
it's like poker and I'm about to play my ace and I just don't like that
All
lyric.
right, 90s trend.
Yes.
But that's pretty much I firmly stand by New Romantics being up here.
I I'm glad there's a 1989 on the top 10 because I don't think I have that many, if any.
All right, what is your number 7? Lucky
My
number
number
7.
7, we took a quick detour off of Speak Now Lane, but we're turning right back on it. It's very hard for me to give up this album, guys. I'm sorry. It is just it's so good. My number 7 though is a bit of a pet song. It's Long Live. I don't know. I feel like it's high up for some Swifties, but I don't know how weird I am for having it in my top 10. And like the other Speak Now songs, it's another relatively positive and upbeat one. But I feel like this song reminds me of a very mature and positive Last Kiss because the bridge gives off very big Last Kiss vibes, but you don't really cry out of sadness. It's like a very don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened energy, which actually
Mhm.
really helped me through one of the biggest breakups I've ever been through, which is probably why it's such a pet song and up there for me. My favorite lyric I feel is a little bit off the wall. But my favorite lyric is I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. And like I said, this song helped me through my very first breakup for someone I dated for almost 4 years. And that relationship formed a lot of who I ended up becoming, including the giant nerd and dork that I am today. And her family taught me how to play Dungeons and Dragons. I know. And this line always stood up to me after we broke up because, like, did have the time of my life fighting dragons with her. And I doubt that's what Taylor Swift intended by the line, but like just such a really weird specific connection to me that
Mhm.
like destroys me every time I hear it. No part of me after this song is like, yeah, they live happily ever after. They don't. But there's no like ill will. It's just fond memories of a great thing that happened once. And like that's how I feel like you should strive with your relationships. Even if you break up, hopefully you can break up with no ill will and just and not have the good memories of you with someone be tarnished by something.
It's a less mature but happier version of happiness.
Mm, that's a good way to put it. I
Yeah.
like that. I
Like
like that.
happiness is like your old
It's the happier happiness.
Exactly, it really is.
Oh my
Ah,
gosh. All right, Devin.
what is my 7?
What is your what seven? What is Devin? What is your 7?
So, right back on 1989, we're still there. Out of the Woods. I'm sorry, the bridge will sell this for me.
I,
But
this is
yes,
really bad. What is the bridge?
remember when you hit the brakes too
Okay.
soon?
Okay.
20 stitches in the hospital room. When you started
This
crying, baby, I did too. When the sun came up, I was looking at you.
I really opened Pandora's box with that
Yeah, you
question.
did. You did. Um, so while the chorus is repetitive, the song is just still so good. Like the bridge hitting for the first time is just so powerful. We love a Harry Styles vehicular manslaughter song. Seeing
I
the
didn't
song,
see that comment until just now.
seeing the song live was also fantastic. Um, this was also just the production on it, that dun dun oh dun dun oh.
I
Just,
think she really hit her production like high at 1989. Like
mhm.
she went all in on production there and it really shows.
Yeah, 100%. It's a powerful bridge and Harry Styles. What more could you want out of 1989?
I, I I don't know about that song. I need to listen to it again. I need to listen to
Mhm.
1989 more. Okay. Number 6. We're finally gonna get off of Speak Now. Just kidding. We're still on Speak Now. Because I have to match Devin because I mean she was right. Like she's hands down right. Number 6 is Enchanted. Like I, I think when I first did the song sorter, Enchanted was my number 2, which is wild, but that it dropped to 6. But it's one of the first and best Taylor Swift songs I've learned how to play on guitar. It's hard for me to pinpoint one area of the song that really pops. It's just it's that's the thing that I'm starting to notice with my top 10 is like there's not like one specific part of the song that I really like. It's just they're all encompassing. But I think the song is just a masterclass in building and releasing tension in a song. Taylor has done this a lot before Enchanted and countless times after, but there's nothing like that first chorus. And even when you think, oh, that's cool, low key to high key, got it. And then it lulls you back into a false sense of security with a stripped down second chorus, and then staying relatively medium chill, and then a slow, simple solo into a freaking bridge. And if you aren't actively moving with the guitar by the bridge, I can't help you out, man. You're alone in the world. And then again, a low breakdown, slow rise. Please don't be in love with someone. And by the last chorus, you are screaming this song. My favorite lyric is just probably please don't be in love with someone else. It's the quintessential lyric from the song, the wanting, the hope. I just love and hate how the media portrayed Taylor as this hopeless girl who can't find love and writes about how bad it is. And every song so far in my top 10 from Speak Now showcases exactly how much Taylor loves love and how much hope she had as a young child.
She had so much hope.
And that's what I think drew me to Taylor Swift in general. Is just like I had the same hope in high school. It's gotten beaten out of me since then, but
The world crushed her, but then
and
she
I feel
came
like
back
we can all
stronger.
relate to that. Like I feel
Mhm.
like in high school we all had that starry-eyed, we're gonna meet the person, we're gonna love them, and then we grew up and reality.
Yeah. Before I get into my number 6, I have to quickly go back because how could I forget Jack Antonoff on Out of the Woods?
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah. This that
sorry.
scoops.
Yeah, the performance of that, her belting out and thinking that she got the wrong note, just the his background vocals, the very beginning of it for me. Just have to put that out there.
I like that you
So,
have to mention, like, you have like one contractual obligation to mention background vocals in every episode we do.
oh, it's not even done yet. We're gonna get into it more. So now my number 6. We're gonna venture outside of 1989. Nope. Okay. Wildest Dreams. Because I mean, we got a sneak peek of it lately with that re-record from Spirit Untamed, and that just reignited how great of a song
Mhm.
this is. But this song was always amazing from the first listen. The music video, so dreamy. I think you said it's your favorite
Oh
music
yeah.
video. Just classic. And again, seeing it on tour, fantastic. The lyric, you see me in hindsight, tangled up with you all night, burning it down, down. Just so good. And I just think Wildest Dreams, just the percussive element of it, the dun 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 dun, dun just
It
so such a dreamy song.
it feels ethereal and like have you I know you have. I don't know why I'm asking you this question, but have you ever just like driven 60 miles an hour with Wildest Dreams at max volume in your car? Because if you didn't, I'm your new doctor and I'm prescribing you with that medication.
It is
Because
so, what's the word? It's just cathartic.
yep, that's the word.
Mhm. Just driving down a road, even like a beachside town would be better. But just the wind flowing, like the music video, it's just like I want to be filming in pretend Africa or real Africa. I think that's where they were filming at,
Yeah, yeah.
with just the majestic animals, and it's just such a just a regal song. It just feels so ethereal.
I think for me, I have. I'm sorry to spoil my top 5, but I have no songs from 1989 on my top 10 at all. And to be completely honest, the only 1989 song I have in my top 50 is this one.
That's crazy to me.
It's this
I was such a
song.
1989 head though.
I was the opposite, but
Hmm.
this song is just transcendent. It's
Hmm.
so good. I'm so excited for the re-release of this one.
Yes.
I hope I get into 1989 more with the re-record.
We shall see. So now we are going into our top 5. Why are you laughing?
Because I just looked at what my top 5 is and it's still Speak Now.
So we're
I
learning
did
a trend.
so I did 5 songs, and out of 5, 4 of them were Speak Now.
That's crazy. So what was your number 5?
6 songs, and 5 of them are Speak Now. Number 5 is Last Kiss.
Of course.
So I got all of the happy songs out of the way, and now we're doing a complete 180. We're done with hopeful love songs. We're on to Shatter Me into 1,000 Pieces, Taylor Swift songs. I loved this song since before I even had a first kiss, let alone a last one, which says a lot. This is the 3rd song on my list that includes 2 a.m. This Girl Got No Sleep in 2010 and still to this day. It took me a while to personally relate to this song, but it did not stop me from having to skip it to prevent a lot of crying on the school bus home. If you ever need to cry, again, I'm your new doctor. I'm prescribing you Last Kiss. It's impossible not to. I texted Devin while writing this script for everything, and I said, Devin, I'm listening to Last Kiss while doing my top 10, and I am actually sobbing again. I have no reason to. It's just a song, man.
It's so good.
I think it's actually a felony to not cry to this song. I'm not sure. I'll have to check the records, but I'm pretty sure if you don't reach for that skip fast enough and that heavy drum kicks in the intro, you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry.
The tears start to well.
It's hard because it's one of those songs. Like, I know friends that like can't listen to Soon You'll Get Better, Ronin, all of those songs because they'll cry, and this song kind of falls into that. But you still want, like, I still want to listen to it.
Oh yeah.
I never skip this song. Now that I'm an adult. My best memories of the song is I can remember the first time I broke up with someone. I was honestly, we grow as we get older. Gonna preface that. I was a self-centered jerk, and I thought, this is what she's going through, and this is because of me. Like, I did this. I'm so sorry. She started dating someone like almost immediately after, so she was not going through this at all. But in my dumb little man brain, I thought that I was that important. But I think this is one of Taylor Swift's most relatable songs in the world. It's an honorary track 5 as far as I'm concerned, and it's 100% the groundwork that gave us another song on this list, and I Will Die on That Hill.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite lyric, I literally don't know how you could pick one. So I have a top 3. Mine are, you can plan for a change in weather and time, but I never planned on you changing your mind. I'm sorry, let me just
take that knife out of my heart.
I don't know how to be something you miss. And I'll feel you forget me like I used to feel you breathe. This song means everything to me. I cannot listen to it without constantly spiraling into a depressive episode. So it couldn't be higher on this list.
All right, let me take over before you start crying on the podcast. So my number 5, a little bit of a surprise. It's the latest release in her discography for me is August. And if you want to see my first impression of it, just watch our live reaction and song breakdown. But in sum, it was just such an amazing song right off the bat. Again, Jack Antonoff, what have you done to me? It's just live reacting to it, screaming the bridge in the car. These things are just so iconic to it. And I just can't wait to make memories with this song in the real world. Like I can't wait to be somewhere and just scream because you weren't mine to lose with my friends. And just waiting for the bridge and waiting. My favorite lyric is just back when we were still changing for the better. That is just the best line of the song. But I want to be on the beach. I saw a TikTok and it was the song in the background and it was just someone on a beach and it was like, the sun was beautiful, the waves were just crashing, and it's like that's the song.
Salt air.
Yep. I can't wait for the summer when that will be all I listen to on repeat. And then when the bridge comes on, I will just run into the ocean and drown myself. Back when we were still changing. Because I can't take it. Take me away.
I love like you mentioned something that's like awesome. Like I'm looking back at all my songs and they're so past driven. Like
Hmm.
I can't wait for us to feel this way about Folklore Evermore, stuff like that, because we do have like I feel like we have a weird sense of, because they're so recent,
Hmm.
and like I have this sense of Speak Now, Red, Fearless, that because it's so pivotal. When we're like 40, Folklore Evermore and everything is just gonna be.
Even 5 years. I mean, that's don't date us, but but I
Taylor
think
ages like wine.
I mean, she does, and just with this song, how I know it's a top 10 for me is just like I know it's so new, and there's so many songs that have so many great memories that this one doesn't necessarily have all those memories yet, but the potential in the song
Mm.
and just the production in the song, the instrumentals, I knew right away just that old vibe to it. Like at the very end of the song, the soaring strings, the da na 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 boom boom boom. It sounds movie-esque.
The Jack Brown vocals.
Yes. God, I don't even know if he sings. He
I
probably
think he
does.
does. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
he's an August head, right?
Hmm. Our little August heads.
Oh, God.
But yeah, August is definitely up there. Could potentially get moved around a little bit, but it's up there in my top 10.
All right, so number 4. I'm a little self-conscious about this one. My number 4 is "You Belong with Me." This might be the second Taylor Swift song I have ever heard in my life. And in high school, I related to the song so much, just like literally every freaking person in high school.
Yep.
You are not special, and neither am I for relating to this song in high school. I can also confirm that my first girlfriend felt that way about me and listened to the song when she was crushing on me, which is something I cannot fathom a human being doing. Like I said, I'm self-conscious of this pick. I feel like kind of a fake fan, not picking like some deep cut or like crazy off the wall song, and instead I'm picking like arguably her most famous song ever that like put her on the map. But
Hmm.
in a lot of ways, like I wouldn't be where I am today without this song, or I wouldn't be a big fan of Taylor without this song. And not only that, like it still slaps.
Yeah.
Like I say all the time that like I tire of songs extremely quickly. Like when I listen to a new song, and Devin, you can attest to this, I will listen to that song on repeat for a week and then never listen to it again. That
Hmm.
is just who I am as a person. So when songs that I've heard 1,000 times over and over and over again, I still listen to and don't skip when I'm shuffling, that's huge for me. And for as many times as I've listened to this song in my life, billions, I still love it. And I think that speaks really well to Taylor. My favorite lyric, again, another case of this song as a whole is just fantastic. Pulling out one lyric doesn't really do it justice. But if I had to, I'm the one who makes you laugh when you know you're about to cry. I always like related to this as like I always felt like I was this friend. Like my friends always came to me because I would always throw a joke in that would make them laugh when they were upset. And I took a lot of pride in it. So like this one like really hit me. But there's nothing the whole song is just full of that. So it's hard to narrow that down.
And I also just want to point out probably that lyric, I'm the one who makes you laugh when you know you're about to cry. But the best part right afterwards with the drums, dun, dun, I know your
Wait,
favorites.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like she goes, I'm the one who makes you laugh when you know you're about to cry. Dun, dun, I know you. It's such a great build. So I
I love that.
honestly, some people might judge you, but I agree with you 100%. I mean, this isn't in my top 10, but I think for the nostalgia that this song
Mhm.
provides, it's arguably, and it's a great song.
Yeah.
It's just a song that has transcended time.
Hmm.
And it's just you belong with me. What a great message. Like what a great feeling that you have when you're in high school.
Iconic music video.
Oh
Taylor
yeah.
Swift, Taylor Swift jealous that Taylor Swift is dating a guy, and then at the end he breaks up with Taylor Swift to get together with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Hmm. And it was the guy from the Hannah Montana movie
Was it really?
or whatever Miley Cyrus movie was in.
Yeah, it's a Hannah Montana movie
Hmm.
where Taylor Swift sang "Crazier,"
Hmm.
which
Well, it
we
wasn't the
both
Hannah
agreed.
Montana movie. It was the Miley Cyrus movie.
There was some,
Oh,
I
the
think,
the last. Oh my gosh, what's the name of the movie?
Last Samurai.
Oh my gosh. No. Something about the summer and it's whatever.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What's your number 4?
I'm gonna get so much backlash on that. Okay, so my number 4 It's a
This is
song you
not
have
the
already
Miley
mentioned.
Cyrus podcast. This
No.
is the Taylor Swift. I almost said this is the Hannah Montana podcast.
So this song you have mentioned before, but I just ranked it a little bit higher.
Mm.
But it is Cruel Summer from
Boom, boom,
Lover.
boom, boom. Yeah. Boom,
Mm.
boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Just the Lover era. Like it's just
Mm.
this was an instant top tier song for me, production wise. Like we said, it just packs you a punch and it gets you hype instantly. It's the summer single we never got. And I don't want to reiterate too much because I think you summed it up perfect, but I just remember my first time listening to this song moment was I was actually at work and I was listening to it. And I remember just live texting my friend my reaction to it and he looks up grinning like a devil. I was
Mm.
sitting in my chair and I just went, "What?" Just I was just like and I have a cube mate. So it's like he's just like, "What just happened?" And I was just like, "I don't know
Taylor
what just
Swift just
happened."
happened.
I don't know. I don't know what just happened. But texting that whole bridge to
Mm.
one of my friends, just like talking about how amazing it was. But the best lyric, I have to agree with you, is just, "I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you."
So
Screaming that
good.
line.
It's so good. What's funny is actually really on point. So I remember reading like tweets about the song when it came out, and people are like, "Is that Miley Cyrus who's singing He Looks Up Grinning Like a Devil?" And if you
Mm,
listen to it, like I was like, I could be, I know it's not, but I could
mhm.
be convinced that that was Miley Cyrus. It sounds a little bit more like it. This song is just, it's surreal. It's so good. Such a okay. Here's my question for you: what is the biggest missed single? Cruel Summer, New Romantics. Cruel Summer's higher up on your list.
I'd probably say Cruel Summer because it just had so much potential
It
as
was
a summer single.
it was such a good single. Like
It was just such a good song. It could have been a great single.
I
And
remember
everyone wanted it. So that's
yeah.
maybe why she didn't do it because she knew how popular the song was already. It didn't need to
Mm.
hit radio to have the impact that it did.
Yeah, but I was pissed because every time I DJ'd a party or something, I would put it on and people would be like, I don't know this song. And I'm like, well, you should. And that's
Mhm.
the problem with kids these days.
I just want to go to a Taylor Swift night and scream this song.
They need to have like a Taylor Swift night or a party night of
COVID.
some kind.
Everyone get your vaccine.
Once COVID's done, we're going hard.
We're vlogging.
All right, my number 3 is my most recent song that Taylor released. And if you've listened to this show for a while, you definitely know what it is. It's "'Tis the Damn Season." I have been talking about this song for 4 months now, and I won't shut up no matter how much my friends tell me to. I've lost 4 friends because I won't shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
Quantified it.
This is a little awkward because we just did a giant episode about this song for our last episode. If you haven't listened to that breakdown, go check it out. You can hear me gush over this song for a full 45 minutes. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. I love this song. It's the only song to break my top 20 from this era. And it's like, I think it's the most recent song. Like "Lover" is the only other one that really got close from recent stuff that really like transcended my nostalgia to make me love it as this much. And as like I said, as someone who clearly shows a penchant for early Taylor, it's extremely impressive of me that such a new song has broken into the upper echelon top 3
Yeah.
of Taylor's discography for me. I am an old soul, and it's hard for me to imagine anything unseating anything in my top 10. So this to me is a huge one. And we talked about this lyric a lot and how much we loved it. But my favorite lyric from this one is probably "Time flies, messy as the mud on your truck tires. Now I'm missing your smile. Hear me out." The cadence, the just the feelings you get from it, the everything that goes into it, the alliteration. There's just so much to unpack in that one line. And every time it comes on, I just want to sing it because it's just so fun to sing along to.
Mhm. So my number 3 is just heartbreak. We are back to Speak Now. And some people might be surprised that it is so high, but my number 3 is Back to December.
Mm,
And it is just such a relatable song with every breakup I have ever gone through. Even if I was the one who was dumped, it's just the perfect sad breakup song. And just some memories of this song, whether it be listening to this in the car when I was a kid, pretending I was in a movie in middle school or high school and crying to it about it then, or whether it was half a year ago when I was crying to the song and we talked about it in the songs that we've cried to episode. The lyrics still hit. And I don't think
Mhm.
the lyrics will ever not hit for me. My favorite lyric from it is the I'd go back in time to change it, but I can't. So if the chain is on your door, I understand. It's just such this song had such an impact. And
Mm.
I loved that when the song was released, this was the first song she admitted was her apologizing to an ex. And that was such a big deal back in the day. Like everyone was like, "Wait, this isn't this isn't her bashing somebody. This isn't her complaining about how she was dumped. No, no. This is her apologizing to Taylor Lautner. I'm sorry that we broke up. I hope your family's okay." Like what a good song. It's just
I
that was really like just a mature move on her end.
I sent this song to so many people who bashed her for just liking for just like breaking up with boyfriends and being rude about it. I was
Mhm.
like, oh well, you haven't listened to Back to December, mm. And then they still didn't
Just
and still made fun of me. But
just it's
it's
just the lyrical content. I mean, it's just so many literally a half a year ago when I'm what? I'm 23, I think. I don't know how old I am, but just singing this song at my age and still relating to it just on a deep level, that bridge will just murder you every time. But even it's it's one thing when a bridge will kill you because we know that. We kind of expect that from Taylor Swift. But when the lyrics make like just the verses make you cry.
yeah, that's a really good point.
Like
Because we're
that's
we're all
really
fine with DBB, Death by Bridge,
yeah.
but but when it comes like DBV is much more rare.
Because it's the entire song. You never get a
Mhm.
break.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
hmm So this is really a song that when you want to cry, it's not my number one cry, but it's this is all
It's up
Cry
there.
City. Yes.
It's top three.
hmm
Made it to top three.
So number two.
I, f- I feel like another fake fan, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because I don't apologize for my own opinions.
There you go.
It's Love Story. It's hard not to put this song high for me. I spoke about You Belong With Me being pivotal in me getting into Taylor Swift, but if it wasn't for Love Story, I truly wouldn't have. This is most likely the first song by Taylor Swift I ever heard. It's the first one I learned on guitar. It's the first one that I loved because some girl in high school loved it, and I just wanted to share something with her because maybe she'd notice me. Uh, it brought me joy, pain, happiness, and sadness. And when I think of Taylor Swift, I think of this song first and foremost. My favorite lyric is, and I said, Romeo, save me. I've been feeling so alone. I keep waiting for you, but you never come. Is it in my head? I don't know what to think. And I like this breakdown. It's like the mind bridge before
Mhm.
2 a.m. was a thing. But I just know the way she says it. I love the cadence in which she says it. We talked about it on our reaction to the song being re-recorded that I was through the moon that she kept the same cadence with it, where she has the same Romeo, like all of
Mhm.
that stuff. I like again, I feel weird picking her most popular song as my number 2 and being on my top 10 and everything because I want to be an edgy like hipster or whatever, but it's just it's so good. Like it would be an affront not to, honestly.
Mhm.
I'm not saying Devin, you're wrong, and
They're in my top 50. She has a lot of songs. It's like 160 something. But no, this song I feel the same way about. It's very nostalgic and I just love even with the re-recordings, like that's something that's so great about the re-recordings is you think about that line that you pointed out, I've been feeling so like Romeo save me. And I don't know what to think. Is this in my head? You never come. It's like it's so dependent on someone else. And now
Mhm.
that you listen back and her growth and that, she's the one driving now. She's not in the passenger seat. She doesn't need Romeo to come save her. Like it's more so like her talking about her fans and not a love interest. Like
Mhm.
just the growth that the song provides and the nostalgia of hearing both versions is something that would make this song a number two song.
Mm-hmm.
So my number two song is also a song that you mentioned. So I don't want to go into it too much, but I want to just give my piece to it. Is Last Kiss. And I don't know if I really appreciated it when I was younger to the extent that I do now. Definitely not as much as I do now. And just again, crying to the song my junior year of college. I literally remember, I remember trying to model myself after this song because I wanted to feel it 10 times harder. Just so I'll go sit on the floor wearing your clothes. I had an oversized hoodie. We talk about this in the songs we've cried to episode, but I literally remember thinking, I have this, I'm gonna wear this hoodie and I'm gonna go in the corner and I'm really gonna be in this Taylor Swift song because I need that comfort. Crying to the song half a year ago, just crying. It's just like you said, this entire song, this entire bridge. I physically cannot pick a single line that stands out from the song because the entire bridge is, so I'll watch your life in pictures. Like I used to just
And that's the thing that gets me about this song too. Is like the first two verses of it are like nostalgia. Like they're
Mhm,
like I'll like the one that really got me in the beginning is like I remember your handshake meeting my father. Not a day the
mhm.
way you kissed me when I was in the middle of saying something, not a day that goes by that I'd miss that rude interruption. Like those lines are like very like thinking about the relationship and everything. And then you get to the bridge and it's the future. I'm in the now, and I'm
Mhm.
stuck here, and I can't go back, and I just have to think about you forgetting me, and
That's yes. So that's the thing because,
and
back
I
to
hope the
December.
sun shines. It's a beautiful. I'm gonna
All right,
cry.
all right. So back to December. What I While Back to December is structured in a way that you cry throughout the entire song, Last Kiss is somewhat worse because you don't cry
Mm-hmm.
throughout the entire song, but it baits you. You
Mm-hmm.
have the nostalgia and then the sadness and then the nostalgia and then the sadness. And now you're just in a pit of despair in the bridge. And then, you know, just like our last kiss, forever the name on my lips, just like our last. She doesn't even say kiss at
It's
the
like
end. Yep.
yes.
It's just such a sad song.
Devin, when we do the song breakdown for this, we're gonna like
Just sobbing.
we're gonna be so
I'm in
sad.
a happy committed relationship and I'm still sobbing to last kiss. Just because what if we have a last kiss
Yeah,
and then there's a
yeah,
whole nother
yeah.
bottle of worms that you have to.
How Taylor? How could you release this into the world? Like I
All right.
can't think of not even Taylor. I can't think of another song in the world that affects me in the way that Last Kiss does. I can't think of a single one. There is not a single sad song that makes me cry in this exact same way that like Ronan, the other Taylor Swift song that makes me cry is yeah, but like that feels like a
But
cheap cry.
it's not relatable cry.
Yeah, no, it's just this is
It's just
horrifically
sad.
sad.
Yeah.
This song is just like not only, and you said it perfectly, not only have I felt this before, but what if I feel it again?
Mm-hmm.
And like the implications of the future, like it's always going to make you cry because just because you're not feeling it now doesn't mean you have it in the past, doesn't mean it's not going to be in your future. The song is always around every corner waiting
And
for
that's anxiety.
you.
So, our number one song, if you have
You said
listened to this,
our? Do you think we have this? No, I'm just kidding.
if you have listened to this podcast at all, you probably know our number one song,
It's all
Joe.
too well. It's all
Yep.
too well. It's every Swift's number one song. All
90% of
practically.
Taylor Swift fans agree.
Yeah.
It's like 3 out of 4 Swifties recommend All Too Well as your number one song.
9 out of 10 dentists. the fifth the fifth dentist caved and now they're all recommending Trident. Uh yeah, no. All too well, it's her masterpiece. It's her coup de grace. I think that's the right one. Coup
Mhm.
d'etat? Something. There's like a French word for it.
I think that's
It's her
food.
best one.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
All too well. I'm not sure if it's the first time I heard it, but I have a distinct memory listening to this song when it came out in my college library. I would go there every morning around like 8 a.m. getting ready for my classes, do a crossword or something, and in these like cubby desks, like it's just such a like a baked in memory for me, like these little cubby desks that like gave you a lot of privacy. And I remember reading an article in the paper like a fossil about the album and Treacherous specifically. And I love Treacherous, and I thought, wow, high point of the album right here. Like, I remember thinking, good God, like State of Grace, Red, Treacherous, I Knew You Were Trouble. Like this album's the opening is incredible. Like, what could top this? And then the song that tops all other songs for almost a decade came on next, and I just haven't been the same human being since.
No. And I will admit, I've said it earlier, I was a bandwagon hopper when it comes to Red. I was a Red late bloomer, so I knew the hits. I knew, I knew You're Trouble and a couple others from the song Dear John. But when this song first blew up, I was on it. I was like, what is this song? Oh my God, I will never be the same. Everything has changed,
The
in the
Grammys
words of Taylor
performance.
Swift. Exactly. It's the best iteration of the song. I stand by that. I still can't get over it. I think it's just so iconic because it was just
Mhm.
so long, and the hair flips. The hair flips are just such an iconic dynamic moment.
And it's the fact that Taylor was just like, this isn't even a single. This isn't a song that the general populace knows. This is literally just my hardcore fans know this song.
Mhm.
And it's so like there are so many stories with this song. And if you haven't just like watched Taylor talk about it, or if you haven't looked up the I hate to use the word, but if you haven't looked up the lore behind this song and everything, there's just so much about it. There is so much clamoring for like the full version, and the one that we like, it's just the one that everyone eats up so much. And like and it's weird because like you think, oh well, it's just, yeah, it's whatever, it's overhyped. And like even us, I feel sometimes, or at least myself, will get to
Mhm.
a point where it's like, yeah, it's all too well, like it and like it was an afterthought for putting it at number one here. Like we didn't even think about it, we didn't even consider it. And I feel like when you get to that point with a song, it feel like it might lose something, but like every time you go back to it, it's just still there, and it just reminds you like, hey, in case you thought maybe something was better than me, it's not. And like
No.
I'm still here, and I'm still like the best thing.
It's just a masterclass of a Taylor Swift song. Like you said, there's so much lore behind it, but the fact that she wrote this song and thought that it was so specific and no one
Mm-hmm.
would relate to it, and literally everyone can relate to at least one part of that song.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's the iconic part about it.
And the way she talks about it, like if you haven't seen the NPR Tiny Desk where she sings it, like
Mhm.
she gives like a really good speech about it, and it's just like, how fans really latched onto this song, that again, it's like it's her, like it's her bearing her soul more so than I think most any other song she's done. And it it's a connection with her and her fans that I don't think a lot of song writers or artists have. And
I think it's just the raw emotion of the song that really gets it. Just that's why it's number one.
we get that because too, like the story goes, she just she's just so talented. She just like ad-libbed this song one day backstage one time. She just came in, strung a couple chords, and just belted this song out. 20 minutes or something of Taylor
She's
singing the song.
crying, her mom's crying.
And like to have that, like stream of conscious write the best song you've ever written is
What I would kill. I would literally
to
kill
have that
somebody
much, to have an
to
ounce of that
watch
skill.
that happen. No, just to watch that moment in time happen, to see what she said.
Could you imagine like that dinner party with only a very specific group of people, but just like random Joe, the sound producer in the other room's like, yeah, I was there when she just started singing all too well for the first time. Oh my gosh.
I would kill someone.
So our favorite lyric, we're not, there's no way we can just give one. So I don't know if, do we have any overlapping?
Just like one.
Okay.
I mean, I like them all, but
They're so hard, man.
yeah.
My the one that like always stood out to me, I've made it my Facebook status when that was a cool thing to do, which was never a cool thing to do, trick question. But time won't fly. It's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it. So poetic and
And
just
the implications behind that line too, because then you saw the comparison to she lost him but found herself, and somehow that was everything.
mm.
Just growth.
And like that's the thing is like I remember like in a lot of the breakups I felt just like the time won't fly. It's like I'm paralyzed by it. And then like just the breakup where like you don't even remember who you were before this person came into your
Mm-hmm.
life and now you have to try to figure that out all over again. Maybe I asked for too much, but maybe this thing was a masterpiece till you tore it all up. I'm sorry, guys. There's just a lot of like basking in this song, and
Yeah.
it's hard not to. The one I think that always break like this is like I don't think this is like those the first two are like everyone kind of really likes those, and I don't want to say like I'm special for this
Mm-hmm.
one, but for me like this is like a personal one for me. It's just I forget about you long enough to forget why I needed to, which is just like has so many implications to it, and is such like a crazy line to me because it's just like I there are those days where like you go about like something horrific happened to you go about your day and like thankfully you have some kind of bliss where like you're doing the dishes or something happens and you're just like you're focused on something that isn't the problem
Mm-hmm.
and you forget why you even needed to forget them and then you just it hits you again and it
Mm-hmm.
keeps hitting you and it comes in waves and it mm,
It's the sadness before you're over it and you get to I forgot that you existed. It's just
mm.
the sad part of that. And I mean, I'm going to be a little basic here, but just the line, you call me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest. I'm a crumpled up piece of paper lying here. Just who writes this? She needs to be jailed. This woman needs to be behind bars. I'm sorry. She does.
Yeah, but if she's
Who
behind
writes
bars,
that?
just think about like the song she's singing while she's shaking the cup.
He did it.
Dude, yeah, you call me up again. The delivery too, just to
Mm-hmm.
break me like a
Just
promise.
screaming it.
Because that's the thing I think with Red that I think gets like overlooked a lot is like we looked at a lot of these songs, Lover, Folklore, and everything with these heartbreaking lyrics and everything, but the production adds a lot to it. And like Cruel Summer for one, the production around He Looks Up Grinning Like a Devil and the I Don't Want to Keep Secrets Just to Keep You. There's a lot of like delivery there that goes into it, and this song it's just not that heavily produced.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just very I don't want to say plain, but like
It's vulnerable.
yeah, there's not a lot of
It's
layers.
the simple background. It really it doesn't do more than it needs to. I think it
That's the
carries
perfect way to say it.
it supports the lyrics perfectly and it takes the
Mhm.
song where it needs to go emotionally. But really her powerhouse vocals do most of the work.
That's all I got to say on
So those are our top 10 songs. Thank you for listening to that.
that.
But we were curious and we thought, what does the general Swiftie population and
Yeah.
audience believe are the top 5 songs?
So there's a poll on this Taylor Swift subreddit. You can access and go look at it where they would whenever a new album comes out, they poll everyone on the subreddit and everything. And there's just a general one, and they've polled what everyone's number one song on Taylor Swift is, and they keep a top five. Overwhelmingly, number one was All Too Well, which is just I again, it's 90% of fans agree that All Too Well is the best. Number two was Enchanted, so chalk that up for us. We got that one right. Putting that on there. Number
Mhm.
three is Cruel Summer, which I think is really interesting that was on there. Number four, this was even more interesting to me, is August. People agree with Devin, and I think that's the takeaway from here is always trust Devin over me. And number five, I do not understand this one
5
bit.
was not on either of our top 10s. It honestly probably should be in my top 10. I could find
I
room for it somewhere.
I never cared for it, but I mean it's apropos of the climate we're in right now with the latest release, but clean
Mhm.
1989's clean, which I think is interesting if you look at it. So we have a 1989, a Folklore, a Lover, a Speak Now, and a Red on their top fives. And if but the thing that I think is really interesting, if we want to like look at our list a little bit more, we have three reds between us, but I don't have any red. You have two. We have one Lover. It's both Cruel Summer. I have two Fearless. You have none. We both have one from the Folkmore era. You have 3 from 1989, which shows that's where you entered your Swiftum. I
Mhm.
have 5 from Speak Now. Together, we have 8 from Speak Now with 2 songs overlapping. I think, I mean, I think it'd be hard to say Speak Now isn't the best album. I don't know. That's episode 100.
Yeah.
But, but like it's just so interesting to see that like Reputation isn't in our top 10.
I love Reputation. I really do. But just in terms of Taylor Swift overall, it's hard. But there
Repu-
there was actually a lot of Reputation in my top 50
your closest Reputation to top 10 is number 14 with Delicate.
as it should.
Mine is number 46 with Endgame.
How is that your top song from Reputation? That is
I
crazy.
really loved Endgame. No, yeah, that's stuff that kind of stuff is really interesting to me. Like, and
Mhm.
especially like again, 1989. The only song in my top 50s from 1989 is Wildest Dreams, and it's at 16.
That's
And
not too low.
you have a bunch in your top 10
Mhm.
even. So, and this was really cool. I had a great time doing this and like kind of reliving all these songs. I can't wait until we do a song breakdown of Speak Now and like all of those albums and everything. So if you like what you heard for this 50th episode, be sure to give us a review and a 5-star rating on Apple. It really helps us with the algorithms and really helps boost us and get us more views. The other thing that helps us get more views is if you have a friend that likes Taylor Swift, let them know that we exist and guide them over to our podcast.
Yes, and make sure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see our lovely faces.
If you have a suggestion for an episode, drop us a comment or a DM. We love hearing from you guys.
And aside from that, thank you so much for listening. We will see you 2 Tuesdays from now.
Come back. We'll
We'll
be
be
here.
here.